Hello viewers, and welcome to a stream today looking at Autopolis Racing Circuit, which has been released today in Gran Turismo Sport. Get the old shoes off, ready for some racing action. Good to see you guys in the chat already. I'll just bring up the old chat and then we're ready to go. So Vincent's here in solo. Hi guys. So let's get the shoes off. I've injured my shoulder unfortunately, so I don't know how well I'll get on, but I'll do my best. It might be okay when I'm driving anyway. We'll see how we get on. And we've got Louis here as well. Hello, hello, hello chaps. Welcome to some daytime driving as we look at this new course. I'm wearing a VV shirt here for extra advertising. No, on brand, on brand. Right, okay, let's see now. And the car and VR gaming channel. There we are. Hi to you. So here we are, Autopolis International Racing Course. It's a course that I don't know a great deal about. Actually, I didn't know anything about it until Jenson Button talked about it last year, saying how much he enjoyed it when in the Super GT. I will say, there's very nice atmospheric sounds. I've been sitting here during the intro you guys have been watching, and we just turn up the game sound. Very atmospheric, you know, very relaxing. It's like a kind of Zen period, isn't it? Birds singing. You can practically smell the fresh air. Very nice. We like a bit of that. Hello, Jorge. Hi, Tone. Very nice atmospheric sort of sounds there. I do like that. Very calming. I realise that they should release a sort of Gran Turismo chill out album with environmental sounds and relaxing music, and I think it would sound pretty good actually. So we'll take a look at the track just before we start then. What have we got then? Full version of track consists of 18 turns, straight of 902 metres and a total track length of 4,674 metres. Let's see, the Japanese track is famed for its undulation, boasting upward slopes of 10.2%, 10% downward, making track feel akin to a roller coaster ride. Perfect. As anyone who knows me knows, I love a bit of undulation. All of this is from the Team VV website, and if you haven't seen all the info, I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to share it again later because that's where the info comes from. So info, all that's from there. Now Vincent's come up with now Japan Sugo T1 Aida. It's funny because that was a great circuit in Formula One. That circuit's in F1 96 as well, or you know, as it was at the time. Formula One the game. So let's jump in then, have a tour of the circuit. I've no idea where we're going, so let's just learn a bit of the circuit. We're in the what are we, GR4 Alfa Romeo here with medium tyres, just to explore the circuit. And I'm going to try and get my shoulder to work, get it into place. So it's funny actually, I take to this like you would in a real car. You know, you'd learn the circuit, take it nice and slowly, and progress. Stephen says Autopolis is great. Yeah, people say good things about the circuit. So I'm going to come out the car a bit just to... I don't know the circuit at all, so I'm just going to drive around, learn the circuit. So there. We're just taking it cruising at the moment, guys, till we can find the line. So that's a double apex corner. Slower corner here. Lots of twists and turns, isn't it? It's a really twisty course. Ideally, once you've learned the course, you go through it in a Super GT car. And again, that's where you notice the undulation. Big drop off down that straight. That means an earlier braking point past these two cones here. So there's quite a lot to learn on this course. This is a tricky course. Why not put a bit of learning into it now, and then if it's ever used in a race, at least it will save a bit on practice time. wide there maybe. Double apex, carry more speed. I'm slowing a bit because I don't know what's coming next at the moment. I'm looking up at the map there. So we're just... and then this will take us round onto start, finish straight. Jake says, am I using a PS4 camera to stream? I'm not. I'm just using a Logitech webcam with the OBS software, and it works really well. Okay, so that's braking too early. Oh, my shoulder is killing me, so bear with me today, guys. That's a tightening corner. Tightening corner. I didn't want to hit the cone there, so that will go the wrong way. Wrong way. It's a helpful guideline as to that corner. So this is a hairpin. It's going to be a bit of a throttle pump. Hi to everyone there. Lots of people there. We've got a sound shower here as well. So we're just learning this new course today. Take a bit of time. It's got a lot of corners, so and they're really quite tricky to. This was a double apex, wasn't it? So we're going to go wide into the first apex. Probably get a penalty for that normally, but whatever. Oh, shoulder is absolutely killing me. I don't know what to do about it. Injured my shoulder. Try and figure out a way around this section. It's a tightening corner there, so we'll have to learn to tighten a bit sooner to that. So we come up to this hairpin now. Now because it's an uphill hairpin, it means you can brake a bit later into it. The car will still turn in quite nicely. As I say, this is a trickier corner purely because of the downhill approach to it. Carry too much speed in there. Nope, too much grass there. Not quite driving my best at the moment. Can't quite practically drive one hand with my arm as it is. It is an unexpected addition, Vincent says there. Ah, really? It was a Need for Speed shift. Right. Goodness. Years ago. Got that wrong. So I don't have a proper braking point for these corners yet. Still no spar. That's right. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? just getting a bit rowdy. This is a slowly tightening corner into this hairpin. Actually helps me to have another car to race against in my own way. Braking too hard there, not enough flow. Okay, too much speed in there. Quite a complicated circuit, and normally these circuits we learn them in 2 laps, but this one's going to require some time to fully master. I'm using medium tyres just to give it a little bit more challenge. That's it reminds me of the Montegi track. Yep, yeah, I can see that. Somehow he kept it together. Takes a bit of learning again, doesn't it? Just to... We know that's a tightening corner, but what's the best way to do it? Maybe just a lift in 4th up to the hairpin again. Let's get rid of that for a minute. It's just in the way. Maybe just shift into 4th, maybe. No, too much speed. You know, it's funny actually, when you do this learning, sometimes like in the past I would do this all privately, as it were, and then you only go online with a stream when you know how to drive the circuit and you make it look really easy. But in truth, everybody does this because the only way you learn how to go fast is by just pushing limits and seeing what gears work, and not always relying just on the replays of everybody else. You need to have your own sort of grounding in terms of how to drive the circuit. And then when you've got that, then you consider where you're kind of going wrong and stuff like that. So see, we get a lot of understeer there, downhill, car sweeps out, tricky. Try 4th here. Just try 4th. Trying to go too wide on the entry there. trying different gears on that corner. It's difficult to know whether it's a fourth or a third through there actually. It's sort of somewhere between the two. Ooh. Well, lots of people like to make out they don't practice. I remember experts years ago that would get incredible lap times on weekly time trials, and they would say, oh, I only did like 5 laps and I got #1 lap in the world. And somebody took a photograph once and the guy had literally done 2,000 laps on a circuit. And you think that's all he did, lap, 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 lap. And some people really like that, you know. It's but yeah, better believe it, practice makes perfect for any driver. And it all starts with learning techniques. And if any of you have watched my streams quite often, you'll see me learning a course, and then you'll see me trying to improve my qualifying time. And then when it comes to the race, in general, I make very few errors in the race because I understand what my limit is. And you know, like that braking, do I brake 1 meter later? Do I carry 5 miles an hour more through that corner? How much risk is there in that? Do I want to carry that risk? And as soon as you start to carry that risk into a corner, you realise it's not worth it. Tyres are not liking that at all, are they? You can hear the tyres just dying. So we're gradually improving, we're gradually finding a bit more pace through the circuit. As I say, some of you might wonder why I'm on medium tyres. It's because medium tyres do offer a challenge. The car does move around a lot. When you're on, you've got to work harder on medium tyres to get the car around, and that sort of helps for me when learning, because it's then when you do it on the softer tyres, wow, it seems easy. See if we can improve here. So gradually learning bit by bit. Still a lot of time to find. What we're going to do now is we're going to exit that for a moment. Take it all in. 5-minute break. I'll catch up on some of your comments, and then after that we're going to go into a faster car. We're going to go to a Super GT car because why not? Why not? We don't have the new Super Formula. Let's look at that for a moment. Come on, here we go. Okay, so from the beginning, we're going to see me going off all the nightmare and gradually learning. So Daz would rather have tracks than cars. You can't, absolutely. A lot of games have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of cars that you're never likely to use. But in actual fact, what you need is more tracks to be able to run championships. I always said that about games like Gran Turismo 3, where you had a handful of Le Mans cars, but only 3 Le Mans tracks that were practical. It's a bit like running a series. if you want to run a certain race series, you need the tracks associated with it. So gradually they're getting there, but we still want the classic Gran Turismo tracks back again. I think that's something that we miss out on. Oh, do you know what? I was looking a bit pale there. I've got the other light on. There we are. It's made me look more healthy. And we've got King Jev in here as well. Hello, King Jev. So we're just learning this new course. I'm going to change to another car in a moment. And this has been interesting. We just fast forward, I guess, to what we were learning towards the end there, and then we will so there we go. So move on a bit and change view. So learning a bit more about the apexes and where they are. Obviously running medium tyres in this car, it's not very grippy, but that works for me because it's always understanding where it's under you and fighting the car as well as the circuit a little bit. Gets you into some of the nuances of some of the corners. It's a tricky circuit, no doubt about that. Lots of room for error. I love that. More room for error the better, because then people just fall off the track and you don't have to overtake them, basically. Hello Billy. Hello Billy. Jake Stoney runs 5 or 6 race cars I'm comfy with. That's a good way to do it. I always say race the cars and the tracks you enjoy. Otherwise you're just racing with horrible cars you don't like driving, and nobody likes that. It's rubbish. So let's see. Hot lapping is only a fun if you're... Well, I think, it depends. Some people, you can see that's why I was going wide there, and I was trying to understand the speed through this double apex, and gradually we find that speed. And this final corner is a bit tricky. Again, it sort of tightens as you go into the corner, so it starts off 4th into 3rd, and then you really got to nail it through that section there, so you carry as much speed onto straight as possible. I think there's 2 lines through that corner. I think there's a line where you can go very wide and sort of I haven't watched the racing here, so those who have watched motorsport here will already know the correct line, and you'll gradually see where I'm online and offline. Like there, I broke too early, so but it's very marginal, between braking too early and flying off the track. Here, this is a sort of double apex. Don't have to worry about the first one, worry about the second one, and then of course this hairpin here as well. Get the car slowed down for that. Very slow corner. This is the tightening corner. 4th gear worked better for me through here in the end. Not changing gear. Into this uphill braking for the hairpin. Could brake surprisingly late for this corner. So that's a bit of that. We're going to take a look in a moment in the faster cars. So Trials of the King, absolutely. Well, this is going to be no doubt in the weekly races at some point. So you'll see fire and fury on King Jez's channel as to how he gets on. It's good when it goes well. I don't know. I mean, I had a bad day the other day on the FIA race. I was very disappointed hitting that ghost. I just didn't think for a second that I was going to hit the ghost. But now I'm going to avoid ghosts like the plague now. Definitely avoiding ghosts. I'm not going through them at all. So gradually improving with this car. It took a few laps to get it into gear. And now we're going to try with one of the stupidly fast cars and see how we get on. So let's try it now for faster car. I'd like to do it in a Le Mans car, but we won't just yet. Le Mans. Here we are. Where is it? Here it is. So let's go into that. Stick with that time of day. don't want that one. I want the GTR one. Where is it? You know, the big problem is that look how many of these repeated cars I get, because every time it does, you know, the daily mileage thing, it gives me the same cars over and over again. So virtually all of these are duplicates. No, I don't want any more Sport Quattros. I never use them. I never do the rallying. Okay, so what is here? There it is. Went past it. Let's use this one. All right then. Let's see how we get on. You know, it's funny. The ghosts for me are a combination. Actually, Jeff. You know, sometimes they're off-putting. Depends how close they are. Sometimes they help me because I'm more of a racer than a hot lapper. I get bored on my own, just hot lapping. Really bored. So now we are going to use a slightly gripper tyre on these. We don't want hard tyres on these cars. We're going to have something a bit more soft. That's it. Let's get stuck in. Let's these Game of Muscle videos, absolutely. Love with the wheel. Love with the wheel, man. Love with the wheel. Just puts me off right before I'm doing a lap, but let's see, we've got any traction here. Good. We'll have a little bit of traction control. Let's get into it. So, faster car. Where's the braking? Braking too early there, but it's okay. I made it look good by using the runoff when I didn't need to. Right. Going to second. That's the third gear corner there. So working our way around. This car is obviously ridiculously quick. Too slow through that corner, but I'm just sort of tippy-toeing a little bit at the moment. Gearing seems to be, funnily enough, seems to be almost identical. So I'm just going to have to set there. That's third. Okay, here we go again. Now we're going to try out and let's brake it. There, we'll brake there. So a lot of speed to find. Oh wow. Okay, so you have to really be careful through that section. We carried more speed, didn't we? Because I did it in the wrong gear before. Shoulder is absolutely killing me right now, but I'm fighting through the pain, viewers, just for you. And then I'll catch up with your comments in just a second, because it's so fast, this car, it's difficult to read comments and drive it because it's so intense. Even with the traction control, it doesn't save you. No, I was trying a different line into that corner to see if there's a wider line. I think there is. that can give you more straight line speed. We'll just play it safe this time then. Play it safe behind the Ghost. Braking too early still. No. Okay. Shows, doesn't it? You know, when you, like, my first lap was quite conservative, and I thought I'm going to brake conservatively and take conservative gears, but as soon as you say, actually, I'm going to try taking this a bit quicker, it bites you back pretty quickly. Okay, let's try again. The wheel spin on this car is everywhere. It's just all over the place. You're putting a lot of pressure on the tyres in all these corners. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jev. That's it is. It's a nice piece of kit. Nice piece of kit for sure. Very comfortable to use. I do enjoy it. I also like the pedal rumble, which I've got quite used to, which gives me a little rumble when I choose it to. So, for example, I've set it to 95% braking. And every time I hit 95%, it gives me a little rumble, getting on the power too quickly and spoiled that corner, didn't I? I see, right, okay, so it's fast in, slow apex, faster out. Okay, this is a tricky course, guys. I got to say, it's a pretty intense course. There's a lot to learn. I mean, we're still about 2 seconds off where we would need to be in terms of completely competitive times, but in terms of my level anyway. But I mean, the top players will be doing like 1:33s and stuff like that, you know. Sort of stupidly good times. Broke it too late. So there we are, improving gradually. Little break for a moment then. Glass of water. Look at your comments. So I think we're getting into the 135s. Gradual improvement there. Let's have a look at a replay now, just for replay purposes, so we can learn a bit about things and learn where we went right and wrong. So generally speaking, with a lot of these games, you learn as much as you can yourself, and then once you know you've got a solid base lap time and roughly where the braking points are, that's when you take a look at some of the leaderboard times and you say, right, what are they doing to scrub off speed and stuff like that. Glyn Taylor's just asked, why are you streaming on Facebook? Well, we stream on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch all at the same time. So because some people don't like watching on YouTube or don't like watching on Twitch, so I said, well, let's just stream everywhere and it keeps everybody happy. That's the thing. Just having a water break, you know, there's a lot of dehydration in the car, you know. So just rehydrating, you know, regaining some body weight after a run. It's good to see as well, like you say, good to see different racing communities here. Hello to everybody that's new as well. Since doing the streaming, it's a new community watching and enjoying what we do here. It's different to the video stuff, because the video stuff's all pre-prepared. You get to speak to me personally and stuff like that, and it's nice to be able to talk to you all, and also I think with a video like this is you get to see somebody learning a circuit. You see how we've gradually learned this circuit. We didn't have a clue how to drive it, you know, half an hour ago, and now we've learned, what have we been doing, 48 minutes, we've learned roughly how to get the car around. What we've learned also is the fact that this is an absolute tyre killer, this track. There's so much direction change, there's so much leaning on the tyres, that this would be a very hard circuit to drive with. Well, if you're running low grip tyres, it's tricky. So tyre wear will be high. No doubt about it. Rob Craig says the short track is quite nice too. I will check that out in a moment. We're going to have a look at that. Jeff saying, I bet they do a daily race with the shorter version first. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. They might save this for an FIA race. My only problem with the FIA races has been that the FIA races haven't been long enough. I found that, you know, like I think Brazil a couple of weeks ago was 9 laps, but when I did it in the last season, it was I think 12-13 laps, and or something like that. It made a big difference because it turned it from a 1-stop to maybe a 2-stop or a 1-stop. And they take it's like the other day at Le Mans, 6 laps wasn't enough. because you didn't have to refuel or consider fuel, and that's something that I think they needed. 8 to 10 laps would have been better. Longer races, I think, for some of these FIA races for sure. Not much longer, maybe 10-15 minutes longer, but it will make all the difference in terms of consistency, concentration. Doesn't it make you look better in the replays? It's funny, even when you have a bad lap, you can go to a replay and it just makes you look like a bit of a badass, even though it might have been a really bad lap. So we're gradually learning here. That's where I went off, because I was trying to do a bit like a parabolica at Monza. Is there a way around the outside, but where you cut in late? I think there is. There's a faster line through there. And that will give you a fast line through the corner before slowing and then getting on the power as soon as you can for the exit. That's the idea there. And I know, obviously, we had Gamer Muscle here, of course, enjoying my gloves. I know you love them. And let's see. What have we got here? So let's see, not bits and pieces. Dad's saying T300 honestly helps me to feel very good on Spa. T300 is great. It's a good wheel. Good wheel. Yeah, I mean, I think at the moment that there's not enough laps in a race. That's the problem with the FIA races. It's not enough to, a race needs to be a bit longer, A solid 30 minutes race is what you need, a solid 30 minutes. Because a lot of people make mistakes, especially as the tyres wear. And their consistent racecraft doesn't hang on very well sometimes. Racing is an endurance challenge, and it really separates people when you do a longer race. The mistakes creep in and it makes a big difference. Jeff saying, thinking how we missed podiums. Yeah, we did. We missed a few podiums on that season. We lost 1,500 points through no fault of my own, basically. Probably a win on that Le Mans race at the weekend. Slipped through my fingers. Well, I mean, tyres generally will wear more on one side than the other. So yeah, it depends on the wear of the circuit, lean of the circuit in terms of the types of corners and stuff. I suppose there's not much you can do about it other than not push so hard on some of those corners if you want to protect the tyres a little bit more in the way of cruising. It's like short shifting to save some fuel. Kagamine says, do we know if this is the only time Autopolis has been included? I don't know for sure, but it's certainly not one I'm familiar with. So quite possibly. That's it. Rob says 30 minutes frightens casual players away. I think that's right, Rob, and I think there needs to be a definition between casual players who are casual players. Just skip on board for a minute. If you want to be a casual player, do the daily races. I think the FIA races do need a little bit of definition that they are taken slightly more seriously, and so they do need to be slightly more of a challenge than the daily races. And quite frankly, to a point, they're not. They're about the same challenge as a daily race, rather than being an all-new level up. Yeah, well, that's a very long one, Jakester. I tell you, that sounds like a really long race. Dad thinks daily races should be 30 to 40 laps. No, I don't think they should be that long. I mean, I don't. I think it's nice to have a daily races. I think you need 3 day. The problem is you've only got 3 a week. 2 of them are normally not worth doing because unless you're just going in for a bumper car session, not worth it. Unless there's strategy in a race, it's not worth it. So generally, the only option is race C. Generally, and then it depends on how good your qualifying time is, and if your qualifying time's not good enough, it's not worth entering. That's one of the big problems. I like the idea of live qualifying in the FIA races. I find I qualify quite well, but when I'm in the daily races, no, because it's down to people who there are people pounding around right now just doing 100 laps a day just to get their qualifying up so that they qualify at the front of a pack, and their racecraft may not be that great, but you know, they put in that lap and it all comes together for them. FI makes me more anxious because they're more important than daily races. Well, that's right, Jakester, and that's a good thing. That's what iRacing makes you feel like. You know, in iRacing, you do get that 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Here we go. iRacing race. You know, it's that sort of here we go feeling. You know, when you're doing an FIA race, it's a now or never. Now or never. You know, this is it. And you need that. That's part of the excitement, because when you do well in that race, it just means a bit more rather than just another race that's going to take place again in 15 minutes. Brothers said, why not make it 1 or 2 hour races? I suppose they could, but you know, I think 1 to 2 hours is, if you think about players, it takes a lot more players out of it. I think that there is a point where you need to find a crossover. I think 1 hour would be the maximum, for sure. That would be the maximum. It's more mentally engaging for people. I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about, you know, you've got to remember, people get home from work, might have limited time, a bit tired. You know, it's all right for just leave that play for a minute. It's all right for, you know, kids who've just got home from school or college or university, and they just want to play for 10 hours and they've got nothing else to think about. When you get a bit older, you know, as well, you've got work and other things to do. You come home, you're a bit tired. You might have an hour aside to do an FIA race or something, but you haven't got 2 or 3 hours aside. You know, that takes a whole chunk of really good drivers out of it. But I do think that longer races in that time, you know, if you think right now your race starts at 6 p.m, by 6:40 it's all done. You've done qualifying, you've done the race. You know, making that race 15 to 20 minutes longer wouldn't necessarily take out an audience in that way. You know, it wouldn't take them out. So I think that's something that is sort of worth considering, is all those types of players that play something like this. So I want to bear with me. Let's see if bear with me, viewers. Okay, I'm just literally going to get myself ready in a moment, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. Shall we try a little race on this circuit? Let's do that then. Let's try a little race on the circuit. My daily workout is going to give me my crappy car of the day. Car worth 10p. It's going to be this one or something. There you go. There you go. It's always the car worth 10p. Wow, so expensive. Thanks for that, GT Sport. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, just before I do this, I'm going to go in here. And then I'm going to go in here and then we'll try a race. Should we try a race in the evening? Sunset. Let's have a bit of sunset just to make it atmospheric. Shall we go hard? We'll go professional. Professional. Let's go professional. Let's do it. Alrighty guys. See how we get on. So, get your chat sorted. Alright. Yeah, live quality I think would work well, guys. That's really what we need, you know, in every race. I think it would change everything for daily challenges or weekly challenges. If you had to go in and qualify every time you did a race, you know, even sort of one lap quali, you don't start off in the pits, you start off on a flying lap, go. Okay, you do your lap, you get to the end of the lap, that's your quali. They don't need to drive the lap, you don't need to do the out lap and all that business. Just oh, I didn't look at my tyres, did I? Oh well. See how we get on. Which is nice time of day. Nice and colourful. Starting me on a corner. Lovely. We all like that, don't we? Reminds me of Bathurst. Such wonderful memories. Oh, brilliant, Exeter. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you've got good stuff. Cheers. So there we go. I'm trying to read while driving. 200 mile an hour. Appreciate that. And now we're going to try and close up on these guys. We will try changing the volume at the next late braking there, but didn't work. So we're trying to drive sensible, even though it's the AI. We could just bash them out of the way, but it's good to actually practice a little bit sometimes. Oh, the AI is much slower there. Let's go for it now. Park it on the apex. He's still got around the outside. That was a surprise. Good AI. That's unusual. And he's covering the inside line. This is really impressive. So we're pushing. The AI does need improving, yeah. But having said that, they're being a little bit more racy around here than I'm used to. Normally they're just all in a straight line and you take them all into a corner. So you wouldn't be able to do that to a human player. Or that. Human players just wouldn't leave the door open enough for that. AI still need a fair bit of work to be more difficult, don't they? It's very much sort of old school Gran Turismo, isn't it? You've got 3 laps to get to the lead, so I guess in a way they balance the AI based on the distance of the race. Nice sunset. You know, I'm running here on a standard PS4, not a PS4 Pro, and it still amazes me just how good it looks, really. Gonna have to get racy, aren't we, to try and beat these guys. Oh, he was going for an overtake there as well. Bit risky. We got through. So there we are. Make it look nice and easy. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how the AI work? I mean, they're sort of all racy sometimes, and then they just, you know, just sort of fall apart at times. You know, it's a shame. You want it to be a little tougher. They do need like a much harder mode in there. But anyway, it's a nice little look at the circuit, a little bit of a look at the lighting and stuff like that. I suppose what I'd like to see in Gran Turismo is, for me, more original Gran Turismo circuits. You know, like High Speed Ring and Trial Mountain, Grand Valley Speedway, all of these. Dehydrate so much, it's all just talking. Rob was just saying, Nerve GP is another disaster site on corners. It is. Nothing is as bad as 10th place at Bathurst. Literally everybody span out on that corner when they started a race. Everybody. And I was racing the other day somewhere. Oh, Le Mans, wasn't it? And it started me on the apex. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take it slowly. So when it changed to 3, 2, 1, go, I just relaxed for a minute and gently put my foot down. I didn't care if I lost a bit of time on the car in front because I knew it's too risky. Too risky. Really? Okay, Crazy Mike, we'll have a look. Change that. Daryl says, any plans? There is, actually. I am doing some more retro content soon. It's just a bit busy behind the scenes at the moment with various work. Obviously, I've spent a bit of time getting this streaming thing set up, a few elements to make it a bit more professional, and then after that we'll see my retro content set up again, which will be not a massively different layout. What do we? Something like this. Nice little retro screen we'll have set up, and I'm going to have a little background and everything sorted. So just to make it look a bit more authentic when we come to doing the retro content. So there is retro content in progress. Sound Shower, who's in here earlier, is going to be doing some content for us on a game in the next few days. We can't talk about it, I've just realised, but that's alright. It's going to be some content coming out on a game we can't talk about. And yes, it's so retro content, more variety in retro content is coming. Just today, I mean, for today I've just thought I'd do this new track. I'm going to be doing a bit more Formula 1. That's my core plan. There's a lot of things I've been intending to do that haven't happened, variously, because we just don't have the time to do what we want to do. It takes so long to edit these videos and, you know, work behind the scenes to get access to all these games. It's a massive amount of emails involved in trying to sort everything these days. It's more challenging than it's ever been. You know, while trying to find the sponsors we need and everything, and it's really, really challenging. Thanks, Darryl. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And thanks, Jakester, as well, for the donation. Appreciate that as well. There we go. On the screen. So that's a winner. Yeah, constantly, you know, I say, learning this streaming lark. We have green screen now, which I think adds a bit. You get my full, you know, gamer face cam, which is good. It does mean the camera's in the way of the TV screen, but that's okay. I just live with that. It just means when I look to apexes on that side, you get full-on eye vision. I think we learned a lot. Let's take a look at the shorter course now. See what that's all about. Jeff saying Far Cry had a couple of stellar stages. Okay, we'll have a look. Let's have a look. So let's just a single race, but let's just, we don't know the track, but let's just, what's this, it's a shorter track like? No, that's not what I wanted. Let's try this one. And I haven't seen where you increase the lap length. Is that in the options before the race? Yeah, I mean there are great tracks that were in, as Jeff mentioned earlier, in Gran Turismo 2. There's lots of tracks we'd love to see in this game. You know, that you could do so much more with it. There's sort of about 10 circuits. I think if they added to it, it would transform the game for sure. There'd be so much more you could do. I mean, like people have mentioned, Spa is a good one for sure. I didn't see where the race options were to extend the laps. Driving options. Oh, I don't, custom race, right? Oh well, let's just do this for now, and then I'll have a look afterwards. I don't know the circuit obviously, so I don't know what the shortest version's like, but we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, that's a bigger hairpin than I was expecting. So we lost a lot of ground at the start, but that's okay. We're starting us in 11th place. That's doable. Massively different so far, is it? Okay, not a hugely different version in many respects. Right, okay driver, I'll have a look at that in a moment. Silverstone, Road America, Donington. Yeah, I mean there's so many circuits we could come up with that should be... Arm is feeling a little better at the moment, which is good. Only online racing was that easy. Yeah, well, I quite like racing in faster cars. I mean, I much prefer it in faster cars, actually. Slow cars really bore me. I get bored. I just get bored. Compromised my exit a bit there. It's quite interesting. So we didn't go super aggressive there, obviously. Let's try a longer race and see. If you were being super aggressive there, you could win all these races all the time. I think that's the problem. There's a little bit of bumper cars, and you'll be in the lead. But no, it seems quite good. Let's see. So custom race. Okay. Let's do the full circuit. I quite like the sunset. It's quite nice. Stick with that. Actually, no. We'll go with an afternoon. Go with an evening race. Go with an evening race. And do. Yep. And laps. Number of laps. 8 laps. Should we do 10 laps? 10 laps. Number of cars. Rolling start. Should we do a grid start for fun? Let's do a grid start. Mechanical damage. Wheel. Tyre wear. We could put that on, couldn't we? Don't know where the pit lane entry is. That's a problem. So we'll have to I spy it. I suppose if we do 10 times, then we'd need to do a pit stop. Shortcut penalty. I'll just leave it as it is because we're racing AI. Okay. See. So if we does that increase the penalty? Let's have a shortcut penalty then. Go on. Let's put penalty on. Let's put penalties on. See if that increases things. Mechanical damage. No, we'll leave that just in case everything goes bad. All right then. Let's go with that then. Let's go with that. Oh, boost to none. Damn, I didn't see that on there. Didn't see that on there. Oh well, we'll have to go back and set it again, guys. I didn't see that. Darn it. Oh well, let's go back and do it again. Let's try again. Right. Hi Crazy. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just gonna. I didn't see the boost thing, so we've got to turn that off. Right. Let's do it again. Let's go through one at a time, as I'm not used to making custom races. So lap race, number of laps, 10, cars, time limit, whatever, starting grid, 20, grid start, boost, that's it, off. Do you know what, I just didn't see that before, I just didn't see that. Tyre wear, 10 times tyre wear, go on. Fuel depletion, oh we can add fuel, can't we? A little bit of fuel depletion. Let's just put these on anyway, just weak or something. Just it looks good now. Grip reduction to real. Grip reduction. Where is grip reduction? Sorry guys. Here. Real. Okay. That looks good now, doesn't it? Yes. Just been testing the new track. We're just going to do an extended race on it. So let's just try this. And it's all done now. It's all done. So grip reduction's changed to real. So that's it. Everything's set now in the options. Right, I'm going to be straight back, viewers. Straight back. Get some more water. Get myself sorted here. Be right back. Okay, viewers, let's get our show on the road. And now we're ready to go. That's all sorted there. Headphones on. And let's do a race. Let's do a race. Let's simulate some racing action. Oh, I wasn't ready then. Should have been ready. I thought it was going to give you a second before you're on the grid. Great start from me. Look at that. Oh, oh, look at that. Where's his penalty? Scumbag. Very rare for AI to crash into the back of you, isn't it? Oops, I thought I'd give him a little knock as well. Sorry. Alright, let's just concentrate now. See if we can get to work overtaking these guys. Look at them behind me. Bit of a sandwich, wasn't it? Oh, they are practically parking on the apex. The AI is not handling this too well, I'm afraid. Okay, so moving on. Too much performance deficit there. And then slightly unsighted on my braking there. Doesn't feel like a challenge. That's the problem for me at the moment. You can easily overtake all these guys again. The tyres aren't wearing enough to make it a challenge. We overtook, what, 5 cars into a corner, and it's like, oh, I kind of wish the AI could give just a bit more of a challenge, you know? And we're crawling around here. Look at that, 10 seconds behind our normal lap time pace. Interesting. Certainly damages the tyres. Oh wow, so slow. Okay, so maybe the front of the field will be much quicker. Hello, Flash. Hello, Flash. Maybe the front of the field will be faster. They seem to be a bit more spread out. So probably by the time I get to them, my tyres will wear. And that will give me a little bit more in the way of challenge. Okay, this is good. The cars are speeding up a bit now, so you can see we've improved our lap times, but the rest of the field have as well here, which is something. Missing my braking there, down to tyres wearing. Obviously I wouldn't do that if I was racing human opponents. We're always a little bit more careful when we're racing humans than AI, because AI are just dumb AI at the end of the day. It's not the same. Yeah, the understeer is suddenly cutting into the car there. Trying to go around the outside just because they're so slow on that apex. Leaning on the traction control a bit there. I wonder if anybody's going to pit. Probably not, actually. The AI is probably not going to pit at all, are they? So I put the tyres onto where? Is that the pit lane entrance on that side? Right. Oh, well, let's just put in a normal lap now. Yeah, the point of the tyre wear for me was to get the tyres worn to a point that we might all... my tyres are already worn from all the action, but at least it makes it a bit more challenging. So the tyres are wearing quite a bit now, so it slowed my lap times quite a bit, but still it shows we'd be 20 seconds down the road, so braking much later for that corner, as in you've got to brake much earlier now. Yes, the AI aren't affected by the tyre wear, are they? My lap times are affected quite a bit, but theirs aren't, so it's very strange. Just very strange. You don't feel like you're in a race with them, but you feel like you're in a race with yourself in terms of what you can do with worn tyres. But it's good training in a way, because it sort of... Oh! And that's thanks to tyres. Let's retry. Let's retry, and this time we'll be sensible, and then that way we can protect our tyres. Okay, let's do this. What time is it? Okay, just enough time to do this race, and then... Wow. And this time we'll do it sensibly, work our way up. Oh no, I'm trying to get past too quickly with these guys. Just gonna have to take my time. Trapped. It's so difficult to race cars that are, when you're racing, people normally see they're going at full racing speed, and so are you. Whereas the AI are sort of, you know, they're sort of braking in a very unpredictable way, and it makes them difficult to follow closely sometimes. Like, you know, it's just a, you know, sometimes they'll go really quick through a corner and you're like, great, I can follow him there. And other times they'll just be really slow and it's really unpredictable. If we can protect our tyres a little bit more, we've wasted them a bit on lap 1 there, but look how slow we are through there. Amazing. Funny actually, but sometimes my online races are quite similar to this, if anybody's watched them, because I normally qualify in a dreadful place and then have to spend the whole race overtaking everybody to, so it's not actually much different to my online experience in that way. Obviously that sort of braking there is a bit weird. Weird braking there. Did you see that? Just braking on the apex of the corner. So this is sort of recreating my races, isn't it? So now I'm like back to where I should be in a race. Making a mistake there myself. The AI is surprisingly so easy to pass, but sticking to me like glue. Look at that, he's all over me, isn't he? Quite aggressive. Gave me a little knock in the last race, spun me out. Same guy. Like my teammate, just jealous. That's what it is. This is pure jealousy, viewers. Here's me ahead of him, and he just can't take it. And he wants all the best parts in the garage to himself. And the strategy call. Well, no, it's mine. Oh, cool strategy. Let's see if we can go inside. Just about made it. So it's getting a... Yeah, on Codemasters games AI are super hard. I mean, on Formula 1, wow, like super duper duper hard. So tyres are wearing, and they really alter the braking point on that first turn. I definitely feel that the AI aren't suffering as much from tyre wear as I am. How much he's slowing. Look at that slowing on the apex there. That is weird, weird AI not understanding the apex speed at all there. So I haven't looked, but we're up to 3rd place now, which is nice. So just a matter of hanging in there now. Now, depending on my tyre wear, I really want to get past these guys sooner rather than later, because obviously I'm going to get affected more than they are by tyre wear. And of course, as my tyres wear and theirs don't, I lose my straight line speed advantage. And getting there, trying to brake as late as I could to get past that guy. So getting a little nudge. Yep, it's okay. He's going to brake early into this apex, so we're getting understeer through there now as well. And a gear down. Michael's asking, what do I think of the track? I like it. Good track. This guy does seem to be defending, doesn't he? He's hovering around. Hovering around the middle of the track. Tyres are really going, but this is a good test of just keeping the car on the track now without falling off. The tyres have really gone in this car, so now there's nobody in my way. It really is just about keeping it smooth, braking early. Fuel's too high, isn't it, really? So you want much less fuel. Trying a slightly different line there, didn't work out for me. Got the power too early. The tyres wear really changes the way you drive the course. I say that, and there you go. That's tyre wear there, making a big difference. Okay, so the tyres are really going for me now. So this is something. The AI don't seem to be affected by tyre wear at all in terms of lap times. Oh, my tyres have fallen off completely. So it's just what you're learning at a time like this is how to change your driving style for how the tyres wear. So it doesn't mean you can't. As soon as you understand what to do, you know what to do. But yes, it means go slower, but sometimes change your gearing can make a big difference as well. And we've got an idiot in the chat as well, so we'll have to change that in a moment. It's always one, isn't there, viewers? There's always one. I'm going to turn that off for a minute while that idiot's on there. There we go. So it's tricky now. So you can see the car just doesn't grip like it was, doesn't accelerate once the tyres get worn to this point. So I really needed a pit stop. So just really feathering the throttle through there, and the AI obviously are pretty predictable. So now we just got the final lap where we try and put it all together in terms of our worn sort of tyres. I think mediums will be fine. It just depends on what they go with in terms of tyre wear. See, try and put in another few corners, concentrate through here. Taking it really gingerly this time. We don't want to put a wheel on the grass there. It's funny how the rest of the... Well, actually I did have that. I was quite a long way in the lead before my spin, so I think... around these last few corners. And the tyres really wear, don't they? I mean, you're driving it so differently. It's like driving in wet conditions once you get to this point. And so that is a quick run on that track. We had a couple of mistakes, but obviously it was a really good sort of learning process, I think, looking at how to run it. And we got some cash, which is nice as well for our hard work. Gradually building up the cash. I need to build up cash because obviously you've got to buy cars for the various FIA races, and that's why I don't buy so many cars these days, basically. So, you know, let's sort this out now. Okay, and there we are. So that was sorted. And okay, so seeing the racing action, it's always a bit bumper cars at the beginning of the race. But you know, what you say, it takes a bit of time. Kind of felt like, in a way, like it does a normal race in that sense. You just had to kind of build speed, work your way. I'm going to be finishing a stream in the next few minutes, viewers, but I'm just going to Daz says, are you finding handling different online to single play? Yes. No. Yes and no. Whenever you do practice sessions on FIA, the tyres and everything never handle the same as they do with fuel in the race. So I can practice all day long. So when you see qualifying laps, one of my big problems is I practice a certain lap time. I come to the racetrack, I do it, and the car doesn't quite handle exactly as it does in the practice mode. That was a good bit of racing there. I enjoyed that. That was good fun. I think that's something to check out later. Let's save that replay. Save that replay. Have a look at that later. Okay, we're going to end that now. One final run on the course before I make a move today, guys. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's good to see a daytime audience here as well. And obviously we've had Gamer Muscle and King Jev come in as well, which is great to see. You know, just like I say, different people saying hello all adds to it. So I'm glad you've enjoyed today's stream. Just to finish off then, we'll have a quick time trial. I just want to try a fast car just to see what it's like, and I could do terrible, in which case that will be the end. But let's do this. We'll do it during the day, and let's just go in this Porsche. I enjoyed driving it the other day at Le Mans, and I thought let's just try it out. Yeah, it wasn't a particularly great FIA tournament, was it, for me? But you know, like you say, it's always all sent to try us. So what have we got here? Is that the camera? All right. Let's get on here and let's just try this out then. One final bit of driving to the course looks different from this height. We're so much lower in this cam as well. Okay, restart. Catches you out a lot there, doesn't it? It's tricky. Jimmy Sausages is loving the green screen. Brilliant, brilliant. Something's catching the camera. What's this thing here? It's quite irritating. Right. Yes, it's coming along. It makes it all feel a bit more racy, viewers, a bit more racy. Johnny K says, Game Muscle is playing such a course, I want to race him. I do at some point. I can't today because I'm about to finish my stream, but I will race him another day. I've already said that. We're going to jump on and have some races, and I can show him who's boss then at the tea drinking. Absolutely, Johnny. We will one of these days. That is a plan. We have talked about it at some stage. Getting on and doing some racing together. So I will jump on and race those guys. It's a tricky corner, that, you know. I was late on the power there before, but it seemed that later on the power is the way to go. Getting more aggressive, but aggression doesn't work with this car, does it? And that, I think we'll leave it at that for today, viewers. Well, listen, thanks for tuning in today. Put that back again now. It's good to see you guys tuning in and enjoying a bit of daytime gaming action, which is really handy. Something slightly different. A lot of my streams are usually in the evenings. Do let me know what times of day you'd like to see me streaming, what games you'd like to see me streaming sometimes, and I'll see if I can do those as well. You will see more retro coming up on the channel in the next sort of few weeks, getting all that set up again. And trying some different things out, as well as we look forward to some other future titles. So we'll be testing out all the new titles as they come. But that's it from me for now. I hope you like the new layout, the green screen goodness. It will continue to evolve and improve, and I'm always working on improving the stream quality and stuff like that. But that's it for now. I was driving a GR2 car earlier, that guy, but you'll have to track back in the stream and see all the racing action from that. But that's it from me for now. As ever, viewers, thanks for tuning in. Do subscribe and follow and all that jazz. It supports what we do, and like the video as well, because all of that really supports what we do as well. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.